Good morning everyone. I am Abigail Abrea and I am assigned to discuss the art of Stone Age, Neolithic, or New Stone Age. So, the New Stone Age begins in Northern and Western Europe. The New Stone Age is a much more settled form of existence, based on farming and rearing of domesticated animals as well as the use of polished tools. So, the people who lives in this period of age they are more on farming and rearing of domesticated animals and using of polished tools. So, jade carving. In Chinese art, jade, known by the Chinese Yu, is an ornamental stone used in a wide variety of jewelry art, figure carving, and other types of sculpture in statue form and relief sculpture. So, jade carving, it is a ornamental stone. So, gigamit siya for figure carving or sculpture. Next is Chinese lacquerware. In Chinese art, the word lacquerware refers to variety of decorative techniques used to coat wood, bamboo, metal, or other surfaces with a hard, resinous finish. So, Chinese lacquerware is, ang gigamit is like mga wood, bamboo to form this certain form, parehasa na sa picture. So, the jade carving and Chinese lacquerware is they first appeared in China. So, earliest megalithic architecture. Megaliths at Evora. In prehistoric art, a megalith is a large, often understone stone that has been used in the construction of various types of Neolithic, Chalcolithic, or Bronze Age monuments. So, kani siya nga, as you can see in the picture, they are a large stones. So, mura siya mga excess na sa mga gipang construct nga monuments. So, giform siya into like architecture nga form. Next is the Breton cairn of Bernianes. So, stone na sad siya ang gamit na giform into ing ana nga kanang shape or structure. Next is building of Stonehenge stone circle, probably the world's most famous individual example of megalithic art. The Neolithic stone monument at Stonehenge is located at Salisbury Plain, Wiltshire in England. So, as you can see in the picture, it is also made of stone. So, if sa babaw ta magtanaw ana, it na-form na siya og circle nga mga stones. Mesopotamian civilization begins in 4000 to 2500 BCE or before Christ era. So, ni-appear diri ang mga first wheeled vehicles. Ni-appear siya sa Europe. Next is the ancient Persian art. So, the art of ancient Persia includes architecture, painting, sculpture, and goldsmithing from the early kingdom of Iran in Southwest Asia. So, ang mga art na belong sa ancient Persian art includes architecture, painting, sculpture, and goldsmithing. Includes the intricate ceramics from Susa and Persepolis. So, next is oldest known prehistoric bronze sculptures produced in Mycop cultures of the Russian North Caucasus using simple arsenic bronze process. Sumerian civilization. It is also one of the first civilizations in the world, along with ancient Egypt, Norte Chico, Minoan civilization, ancient China, Mesoamerica, and the Indus Valley. So, under sa Sumerian civilization is the hieroglyphics. So, ang hieroglyphics is a form of writing na nila. So, hieroglyphic is Greek for sacred carvings, was a character of the ancient Egyptian writing system. And another sad nilang writing system is the cuneiform script 3200. It's a logo-syllabic script that was used to write several languages of the ancient Near East. So, Egyptian art and civilization begins 3500 BCE. A major contributor to late Neolithic art, Egyptian culture is probably the best-known form of ancient art in the Mediterranean basin before the advent of Greek civilization. Ancient Egyptian architecture, for example, is world famous for the extraordinary Egyptian pyramids, while other features unique to the art of ancient Egypt include its writing script based on pictures and symbols, or what we call hieroglyphics, and its meticulous hieratic style of painting and stone carving. So, in the picture is the building of New Range megalithic tomb. So, diri siya nagsugod o kabuilt. So, ziggurat. So, ziggurat is a pyramidal temple tower that is an architectural and religious structure characteristics of the major cities of Mesopotamia. So, a ziggurat was developed by Sumerian civilization. So, they built their own monumental architecture, which is the ziggurat. And also, ziggurat is a type of stepped pyramid. So, it is built from clay-fired bricks. So, Bronze Age begins in Europe. In 3300 BCE, metallurgy develops, and also the Bronze Age art. Art from the Bronze Age, 3000 to 1100 BCE, an important period linking the Stone Age with the Iron Age, was a reflection of the environment of the time. So, Indus Valley Civilization, also known as the Harappan Civilization, lasted from 3300 to 1300 BCE and included parts of Afghanistan, most of Pakistan, and northwest India as far as south of Rajkot. First use of horses for drawing wagons and carts. So there is Indus Valley Civilization is they use horses for drawing wagons and carts. So Samaria is the first wheeled transport. Egyptians create first wall paintings in tombs. So Egyptian architecture. The architecture of ancient Egypt, a country of two parts, Upper and Lower Egypt, reflected two fundamental characteristics of Egyptian culture. So first nila na belief is that life on earth was merely a brief interlude compared with the eternal afterlife to come. Second is the fact that Egypt was a theocracy whose king or pharaoh was worshipped as God. And also in Egyptian architecture, copper working begins in southern France. So, Egyptian pyramids. 3100 BCE, so dira nag-start ang Egyptian pyramids. So the pyramids of ancient Egypt are the world's largest funerary edifices or tombs. Developed from the mastaba tomb, they are one of the most enduring symbols of Egyptian art in general and Egyptian architecture in particular. So this is an example of Egyptian pyramid, the Djoser's Step Pyramid at Saqqara. So the architect of that pyramid is architect Heman. So he designs the Great Pyramid at Giza. So actually this pyramid is one of the 7 wonders of the world. Egyptian architecture. So Egyptian architecture has 2 main characteristics, the massiveness and the conservatism that existed for over 3,000 years. So massiveness is best seen in the pyramids and temples. Conservatism in motifs such as the pharaoh smithing his enemies that first appears about 3000 BCE and still a standard representation for Roman emperors and the guise of pharaohs in 2nd century CE. So this is the known megalithic tombs. So that picture, so it is one of the most famous megaliths of the European Neolithic. The burial monument at Note is the largest of all passage tombs located within the 8-square-mile UNESCO World Heritage Site in the valley of the River Boyne, County Meath, Ireland. So, mura siya og passage, dako nga passage. So, this another example of early Egyptian architecture is the ram in a thicket. The ram in a thicket, also known as ram caught in a thicket, is actually one of an identical pair of figures excavated from the city of in ancient Iraq in 1928 by the renowned British archaeologist Sir Leonard Woolley. So, ang kaning ram in a thicket is actually a Mesopotamian sculpture. So, it is made by gold leaf, copper, lapis lazuli. So, it is made of those things that was mentioned. So, Aegean art. In 2660 is the beginning of Aegean art in Eastern Mediterranean. The term Aegean art refers to a cluster of differing cultures that flourish in the area of the Aegean Sea and the Eastern Mediterranean. This category of ancient art of classical antiquity, a precursor of Greek art, commonly includes 3 civilizations, the Cycladic, the Minoan, and the Mycenaean. So, Egyptian Middle King architecture from 2055 to 1650. The Middle Kingdom started when Nebipep III Mentuhotep II reunified Upper and Lower Egypt, paving the way for a second renaissance of Egyptian art. So, this is the ziggurat in Uruk. So, obviously, this ziggurat was built in or constructed in Uruk. So, that picture is an example of X-ray style of Aboriginal rock art. So, that style was developed in Arnhem Land. So, as you can see in the picture, mura siya X-ray, like, ang mga bones ra mo'y nakita, and like the forms ra ang nakita. So, Xia Dynasty culture, an important stage in China's art, a stage described in ancient historical chronicles like the Bamboo Annals, Classic History, and records of the Grand Historian. The Xia Dynasty is now accepted as China's first dynasty. So, Minoan palaces built and rebuilt on Crete on 2500 BCE. So, ang mga outstanding Minoan artworks include pottery and ceramics. So, Chinese art. Chinese developed its own self-contained but highly advanced civilization, which featured an astonishing combination of progressive technology, ancient art, and cultural awareness. So Shang Dynasty art remains the first archaeologically recorded dynasty in China's history. It becomes the most advanced and literate culture of the period, a major contributor to Chinese art. So the Shang dynasty is famous above all for its bronzes, mostly ceremonial vessels, and the workmanship of its sculptures and craftsmen testifies to a high level of civilization. So in this, the Shang dynasty art is famous sila sa mga bronzes and like they're famous sa ilang sculpture kay high quality ilahang mga sculpture. Next is calligraphy. First seen in China art. Calligraphy is the fine art of styled writing, the art of converting Chinese characters into expressive images using responsive rice paper and the pressure of a tapped brush which verges on a form of drawing. So as you can see in the calligraphy, mga letters siya nga murag gi-designan or gi-stylan siya, gilahi og style. So here in karon is the calligraphy is kanang daghan na kayo og style sa mga calligraphy, dili ra kay pareha nang nasa picture. Egyptian New Kingdom architecture from 1550 to 1069. The New Kingdom witnessed the appearance of the large Egyptian temples, the most impressive form of ancient Egyptian architecture after the Old Kingdom's pyramids. So, Iron Age begins in Europe 1750 BCE, was much faster and more visible. It witnessed the widespread use of iron and iron tools, resulting in greater prosperity and a huge upsurge in metalwork, especially around the eastern Mediterranean. During the period of the Iron Age, the Minoan and Mycenaean civilizations declined. So in Iron Age, kay ang mga iron and iron tools were highly kanang nagamit siya. Mas nagamit ang mga iron tools diri nga age. So Mycenaean civilization. Mycenaean was a prehistoric city in the Peloponnese region of ancient Greece. The term Mycenaean or Mycenaean culture is used to describe one of the strands of Asian art that emerged in the eastern Mediterranean area. It also used sometimes to describe early mainland Greek art as a whole. So, pre-Columbian art, 1500 BCE. So, nakuha niya siya in Mesoamerica and South America. So the term pre-Columbian art refers to the architecture, art, and crafts of the native peoples of North, Central, and South America and the islands of the Caribbean, up to the time period marked by the arrival of Christopher Columbus in the Americas. In China, Sanxingdue bronzes appeared in Sichuan provinces. So late Egyptian architecture, 1069 to 200 BCE. Late Egyptian architecture encompasses building design during the following periods. So nagbuild sila og mga design during these periods, which is the Third Intermediate Period and Ptolemy Dynasty, under Greek pharaohs. So, Greek pottery. In 1425 BCE, first appearance of geometric style of Greek pottery. So, in Greek pottery is nagamit sila og mga geometric styles. In the absence of any significant body of original sculpture or painting from ancient Greece, ceramic earthenware is a key indicator of Greek civilization, of the primary source of information about the evolution of Greek art. So, Zhou Dynasty art from 1390 BCE. An important contributor to Chinese art, the Shanxi-based Zhou Dynasty coexisted with the previous Shang Dynasty for many years before achieving power for itself sometime in the 11th century BCE. So, ang kaning Zhou Dynasty art is murag nakipag-collaborate sila sa Shang Dynasty before sila naka-stand by itself around 11th century BCE. So, another day sa Zhou Dynasty art is it is the last period of Bronze Age culture in ancient China. So, Hallstatt style of art. Design begins characterized by geometric design. So, also here in Hallstatt style is nagamit sa sila og geometric designs. Hallstatt, it is regarded as the first clearly defined Celtic culture. Hallstatt style spread out in two zones, an eastern zone encompassing Slovakia, Western Hungary, Western Romania, Croatia, Slovenia, Austria, and the Czech Republic, and a western zone which included South Germany, Switzerland, northern Italy, and eastern France. So, the Greek architecture is divided into three basic eras. So, these eras include the Archaic period, 600 to 500 BCE, the Classical period, 500 to 323 BCE, the Hellenistic period, 323 to 27 BCE. So, Roman art. Many types of art practiced by the Romans. So, naa nga art sa Roman art is the sculpture, fine art painting, and decorative art. So, sa sculpture includes bronze and the marble, statuary, sarcophagi, and the fine art painting includes murals, portraiture, or vase painting. And in decorative art includes metalwork, mosaics, jewelry, ivory carving. So, these arts had already been fully mastered by ancient Greek artists. So, Byzantine art. The style that characterized Byzantine art was almost entirely concerned with religious expression, specifically with the translation of church theology into artistic terms. So, ang art sa Byzantine is more concerned with religious expression. So, they are more on like art sa church, like painting sa mga church. So, that's all. Thank you.